Admiral Jun Kim stood on the bridge of the UES Defender, his eyes fixed on the main screen. The alien ship was massive. It hung in Earth's orbit like a dark cloud, blocking the stars behind it. The ship was 10 times bigger than anything humans had ever built. "Status report," Jun said, his voice calm despite the fear he felt inside. Commander Sue Park looked up from her console. "The alien vessel is not moving. They're scanning us, sir. All our systems, our cities, everything." Jun nodded. This was the moment humanity had feared for decades. First contact with an advanced alien race, but not the friendly kind from old movies. This felt like a predator sizing up its prey. "Open all channels," Jun ordered. "Let's see if they want to talk." Before Sue could follow the order, the main screen flickered. A face appeared. The alien had gray skin with small ridges on its forehead. Its eyes were large and completely black. "People of Earth," the alien spoke in perfect English. "I am High Commander Xal of the Galactic Empire. Your planet is now under Imperial control. Resistance is not advised." Jun stepped forward. "This is Admiral Jun Kim of the United Earth Defense Fleet. We are a sovereign world. We do not recognize your authority." The alien made a sound like a laugh. "Sovereign? You have barely left your own solar system. The Empire spans 10,000 worlds. You will submit or face consequences." The screen went black. "They've cut transmission," Sue said. "Sir, they're powering up weapons." Jun hit the emergency button on his chair. "All ships, defensive positions. Alert Earth Command. This is not a drill." The 5 Earth ships moved into formation around the Defender. They looked tiny compared to the Imperial vessel. "Sir," Sue said quietly, "our weapons won't even dent their shields." Jun knew she was right. But he also knew something the aliens didn't. "Send the coded message to Moon Base," he ordered. "Operation Horizon is now active." Sue's eyes widened. "Sir, that's not authorized yet." "It is now." Jun turned to his communications officer. "Get me Earth Command." Minutes later, Council Leader Han Sung appeared on screen. His face was grim. "Admiral, we're tracking the situation. The whole planet is watching that monster in our sky." "Sir," Jun said, "we need to activate Project Horizon immediately. This empire won't give us time to negotiate." Han was silent for a moment. "The project isn't ready. Dr. Lee says they need more tests." As if to answer him, a bright beam shot from the alien ship. It hit one of Earth's defensive satellites, turning it to dust instantly. "That was a warning," said the alien commander, his voice coming through all channels again. "Your primitive weapons are useless. You have 24 Earth hours to surrender your planet." When the transmission ended, Han Sung looked older than his 60 years. "Activate Project Horizon," he said. "God help us all." 200 meters below the lunar surface, Dr. Minna Lee received the coded message. She looked at her team of scientists and engineers. "It's time," she said simply. Chief Engineer Ta Jin nodded and pressed his palm against a scanner. Heavy doors slid open, revealing a massive underground hangar. Inside were 12 sleek warships, unlike anything ever built on Earth. "Are they ready?" Minna asked. "As ready as they'll ever be," Tai answered. "The neural interfaces are installed. The quantum drives are stable. The weapons systems." He paused. "Well, they work in simulations." Minna activated her secure link to Admiral Kim. "Admiral, Horizon Fleet is preparing for launch. We need 6 hours." On the Defender, Jun looked at the alien ship. 6 hours. They had to hold out for 6 hours. "Understood, Doctor. We'll give you that time." He turned to Sue. "Commander Park, prepare our ships. We can't win this fight, but we can distract them." Sue nodded, determination in her eyes. "For Earth, sir." Jun looked once more at the massive alien vessel. The Empire thought they were facing a primitive species, easy to conquer. They were about to learn how dangerous humans could be when fighting for their home. The United Earth Council chamber was silent as the alien envoy stood before them. Gutter was taller than any human, with skin like polished metal and eyes that glowed faintly blue. He looked at the 20 council members with open disgust. Council leader Han Sung sat at the center of the curved table. His face showed nothing, though his heart raced. Beside him, Admiral Jum Kim stood rigid in his formal uniform. "The terms are simple," Gitter said. His voice had a strange echo. "Earth will surrender all military assets. You will provide resources as tribute. You will accept imperial governors in all your major cities. In return, we allow your species to live." Han leaned forward. "And if we refuse?" Gitter smiled, showing teeth like small daggers. "Then we take what we want anyway, but fewer of you survive. The Empire has done this 10,000 times before. Some worlds fight, some surrender. The end is always the same." "We request time to consider," Han said carefully. "This affects all people of Earth." The alien laughed. "You have 12 hours, though I cannot imagine what good it will do you." After Gitter left, Han turned to Admiral Kim. "How much time does Dr. Lee need?" 4 more hours, sir. The ships are ready, but the neural interfaces need final adjustments." Han nodded. "We'll stall as long as we can." Deep under the lunar surface, Dr. Mina Lee worked frantically. Her fingers flew across 3 different screens as she adjusted the neural interface settings. "Ta, increase power to Section 5, she called out. "The response time is still too slow." Chief Engineer Ta Jin moved between the 12 ships, checking systems and making adjustments. Each ship was sleek and black, shaped like arrowheads. They were much smaller than the Imperial vessel, but packed with technology that even the Empire had never seen. "Dr. Lee," Ta called. "Come look at this." Mina joined him at the central ship, the Horizon Prime. Inside the cockpit, holographic displays glowed softly. "What is it?" she asked. Todd pointed to a small device under the pilot's seat. "The neural amplifier. It's running hot. If it fails during combat, the pilot's brain could burn out." Mina finished. She bit her lip. "We need more time." "Time is something we don't have," said a voice behind them. Commander Sue Park stood in the doorway of the ship. She wore a fitted flight suit with neural connection points at the spine and temples. "The Empire is getting impatient," Sue said. "They just destroyed our base on Mars. 35 people dead." Mina closed her eyes briefly. "The interfaces aren't safe yet." "War is never safe," Sue replied. "I'll pilot Horizon Prime. The other pilots are ready too." We all volunteered, knowing the risks. On Earth, Admiral Kim stood with Council Leader Han in the secret command center below Geneva. Screens showed the Imperial ship and its smaller vessels now spreading out around Earth. "They're taking positions to attack major cities," Kim said. "Their patience is ending." A technician called out, "Sir, message from the lunar base. Horizon Fleet is launching." On the main screen, they watched as the lunar surface seemed to split open. One by one, 12 black ships rose from the hidden base. They were tiny compared to the Imperial vessels, but they moved with incredible speed. "Now we see if 30 years of secret work pays off," Han said quietly. Kim nodded. "Commander Park is leading the attack. If anyone can make this work, it's her." In the cockpit of Horizon Prime, Sue Park felt the neural interface connect to her mind. Pain shot through her body for a moment, then faded. Suddenly, she didn't just control the ship. She was the ship. She could feel its power, its weapons, its sensors as if they were parts of her own body. "All Horizon ships, report status," she said. One by one, 11 voices confirmed they were ready. Sue took a deep breath. "For Earth, for humanity. Attack pattern Alpha. Engage." The 12 ships accelerated to speeds no human vessel had ever achieved before. They headed straight for the massive Imperial ship that still hung over Earth like a dark cloud. The Empire was about to learn that humans were not as helpless as they seemed. Admiral Jun Kim felt the rumble beneath his feet as the lift descended deeper into the lunar base. Commander Su Park had already joined the Horizon Fleet pilots, but Jun needed to see the remaining ships before they launched. The doors opened, revealing a vast underground hangar carved into the moon's rock. Bright lights showed the remaining 6 ships of the Horizon Fleet. They were unlike any spacecraft humans had built before. Each was black and sleek, with no visible engines or weapons. Beautiful, aren't they? Engineer Ta Jin stepped out from behind one of the ships. His hands were stained with grease and his eyes were tired, but he smiled with pride. Will they work? Jun asked directly. Ta walked to the nearest ship and placed his hand on its smooth surface. The outer hull is made from materials we found in the crashed alien scout ship. It absorbs sensor scans instead of reflecting them. The Empire's targeting systems won't be able to lock onto them easily. Jun followed Ta inside the ship. The cockpit was small, with a single seat surrounded by holographic displays. A helmet with mirror connectors sat ready for its pilot. And the weapons? Jun asked. Tae's smile grew wider. That's where human creativity comes in. The Empire expects standard energy weapons or missiles. We've developed something different. He pointed to small ports along the ship's wings. Quantum disruptors. They don't attack the ships directly. They disrupt the bond between atoms in a small area. Nothing the Empire has ever seen before. Dr. Mina Lee's voice came through Jun's communicator. Admiral, the first wave has engaged the enemy. You should see this. In the command center, Jun watched the main screen with Dr. Lee. The first 6 Horizon ships, led by Su Park, were attacking the main Imperial vessel. They'd moved like nothing he had ever seen before, darting in patterns that seemed impossible. The neural interfaces are working better than we hoped, Mina explained. The pilots don't just fly the ships. They become the ships. Human reflexes, human creativity, but at the speed of advanced technology. On screen, a Horizon ship flew directly at an Imperial fighter, then seemed to vanish just before impact. It reappeared behind the enemy, fired its strange weapons, and a section of the Imperial ship simply fell apart. What just happened? Jun asked. Quantum jump, Ta said proudly. Very short range, but effective. Like I said, human creativity. Another screen showed Su Park's ship diving straight toward the main Imperial vessel. Multiple enemy weapons fired at her, but she twisted and turned, avoiding them all. How can she fly like that? Jun asked in amazement. The neural interface, Mina answered. Normal human pilots would black out from such maneuvers, but the ship's systems protect the pilot while allowing their mind to direct the ship. Alarms suddenly blared. A technician called out, Imperial ships approaching the moon. They've detected our base. Jun straightened his uniform. How many pilots are ready for the remaining ships? 5. Tai answered. We're 1 short. Jun looked at the empty pilot's chair of the nearest ship. I've done the simulator training. Mina's eyes widened. Admiral, the neural interface is dangerous. You're too valuable to risk. Every human is valuable, Jun replied. And every ship we can get into this fight matters. He sat in the pilot's chair and allowed Ta to place the neural helmet on his head. Pain shot through his body as the connections activated. Then suddenly, he wasn't just sitting in a ship. He was the ship. He could feel its power, its systems, its weapons. All remaining Horizon ships, launch now, he ordered. Follow my lead. The lunar hangar doors opened again. 6 more black ships rose from the secret base and headed toward the battle. On Earth, Council Leader Han watched the small fleet on the tracking screens. So this is humanity's answer to the Empire, he said quietly. Not with massive ships, but with our minds, our creativity. His aide looked worried. Will it be enough? Han watched as the 12 Earth ships moved in perfect coordination against the much larger Imperial force. It has to be. High Commander Xal slammed his fist on the arm of his command chair. The small human ships were damaging his fleet. This was not supposed to happen. Humans were primitive, weak, easy to conquer. Target their moon base, he ordered. Full power. Destroy it completely. On the main Imperial ship's bridge, weapons officers rushed to obey. The massive vessel turned slowly, its main cannon aiming at the lunar surface where the human ships had emerged. "Sir," one officer said, "there are still Imperial scouts near that area." "I don't care," Vdal snapped. "Fire." A blinding beam of energy shot from the Imperial ship. It hit the moon with such force that dust and rock exploded into space. Where the human base had been, there was now only a smoking crater. Vdal smiled with his sharp teeth. "Send the humans a message. That was just a taste of Imperial power. Surrender now or their planet is next." In the Earth Command Center, Council Leader Han watched the attack on the moon base with horror. Hundreds of people had been stationed there. "Status report," he demanded. How many people were still in the base? A young officer looked up, her face pale. "Sir, the base was mostly evacuated, but we still had 50 people in the lower levels." Han closed his eyes briefly. 50 lives lost. Dr. Min Ali's voice came through on the emergency channel. "Earth Command, this is Dr. Li. I'm safe. We evacuated most personnel to the secondary base on the far side of the moon." Han felt relief wash over him. "What about the fleet?" "All 12 ships are engaged with the enemy," Minna replied. "But the Imperial fleet is massive. We're outnumbered 20-1. Admiral Jung Kim felt his ship respond to his thoughts as he dodged enemy fire. The neural connection was incredible. He didn't need to press buttons or give voice commands. He simply thought of a maneuver, and the ship performed it instantly. "All ships, focus fire on their communication arrays," he ordered. "We need to cut them off from calling reinforcements." Commander Supark's voice came through clearly. "Admiral, I'm detecting a massive energy buildup in the main Imperial vessel. They're preparing to fire at Earth." June's mind raced. The Horizon fleet was spread too thin. They couldn't stop a direct attack on Earth. "All ships, converge on my position," he commanded. "We need to hit them with everything we have." The 12 Earth ships formed up behind June's lead vessel. They were tiny compared to the Imperial command ship, but they moved as one perfect unit. "Quantum disruptors at maximum power," June ordered. "Target their main weapon. Fire on my mark." On Earth, Dr. Min Ali worked frantically at her backup console. The neural interface was straining the pilots' brains. She could see their vital signs flashing warning signals. "They can't take much more," she told Council Leader Han. "The neural connection is too intense." Han looked at the main screen showing the 12 Earth ships facing the massive Imperial vessel. "Can you help them?" Mina's fingers flew across her controls. "I'm going to link all the neural interfaces together. Share the mental load between all 12 pilots. It's risky, but it might work." She pressed the final command and held her breath. In his ship, Jum suddenly felt the minds of the other 11 pilots. It was overwhelming at first. 12 consciousnesses joined as one. Then, a strange calm settled over him. He could feel Sue's determination, Ta's technical knowledge, and the courage of every other pilot. "We are one fleet, one mind, one purpose," Jun said, knowing all pilots felt the same. For Earth, the 12 ships moved in perfect formation, dodging Imperial fire with impossible precision. Together, they unleashed their quantum disruptors at exactly the same moment. 12 beams hit the Imperial ship's main weapon just as it was about to fire at Earth. There was a blinding flash as the weapon overloaded and exploded, taking a large section of the Imperial vessel with it. For the first time, High Commander Xal felt fear. These humans were not what he expected. Not at all. Smoke filled the bridge of the Imperial command ship. Alarms blared as crew members rushed to put out fires. High Commander Xal pulled himself up from the floor where the explosion had thrown him. "Damage report," he shouted. An officer with blood running down his face looked up from his damaged console. Main weapon destroyed. Hull breach on 3 levels. Shields at 40%. Zal could not believe it. 12 small ships had done this much damage to the pride of the Imperial fleet. It was impossible. Launch all fighters, he ordered. Surround those human ships. Destroy them. Over 100 Imperial fighters poured out of the damaged command ship. They were fast and heavily armed. Each one was larger than the human vessels. Admiral Jum Kim felt the shared consciousness of the Horizon Fleet pilots shift from triumph to concern. The sudden appearance of so many enemy fighters changed the battle completely. Break formation, Jun ordered. Scatter and regroup. Use the quantum jumps to confuse them. The 12 Earth ships split apart just as the Imperial fighters reached them. Supark's ship vanished and reappeared behind 3 enemy vessels, firing her quantum disruptors in a quick burst. The enemy ships fell apart, their molecules no longer holding together. But for every Imperial fighter they destroyed, 10 more took its place. The humans were vastly outnumbered. Admiral, Sue's voice came through the neural link. We can't beat them all. June knew she was right. Even with their advanced technology and shared consciousness, there were too many enemies. They needed a new plan. Through the neural link, he felt an idea forming in another pilot's mind. It was Ta Jin, the engineer. The quantum disruptors, Ta thought. If we modify them to create a wide field effect instead of targeted beams, it could disrupt all ships in the area. June finished the thought. Including our own. Not if we adjust our shields to the exact frequency, Ta replied. I can do it, but I'll need time. We'll give you that time, Sue said firmly. On Earth, Dr. Minna Lee watched the battle with growing horror. The Imperial fighters were surrounding the Horizon fleet. 2 of the Earth ships had already taken heavy damage. What are they doing? Council Leader Han asked as he watched the Earth ships form a protective circle around one vessel. Minna checked the data from the neural link. They're protecting Ta's ship. He's modifying the quantum disruptors for a large-scale attack. Han's face was grim. Will it work? If it doesn't, Minna said quietly, we've lost. In the center of the protective formation, Ta Jin's mind worked at incredible speed. Through the neural link, he pulled knowledge from the other pilots. Sue's understanding of attack patterns, Jun's strategic insight. Every piece of information helped as his hands moved across the controls, reprogramming the quantum disruptors. Outside, the other 11 ships fought desperately. One took a direct hit and spun away, trailing debris. The pilot's pain flashed through the neural link before going silent. Tai, we're running out of time, Jun said as his ship barely avoided enemy fire. Almost there, Tai replied. Sending the modifications to all ships now. Through the neural link, each remaining ship received the new settings for their weapons and shields. On my mark, Jun ordered. All ships prepare for wide-field quantum disruption. The 10 remaining Earth ships moved into a tight formation. Imperial fighters closed in from all sides, firing constantly. Now, Jun shouted. All 10 ships fired their modified quantum disruptors at once. Instead of beams, waves of energy spread outward in all directions. The waves passed harmlessly through the Earth ships, but hit the Imperial fighters with devastating effect. In seconds, over 80 enemy vessels broke apart. Their atoms simply stopped holding together. High Commander Xal watched in disbelief from his damaged command ship. One moment his fighters were about to win. The next, they were just clouds of dust floating in space. For the first time in his long military career, Xal gave an order he never thought he would give. All remaining ships, fall back. Retreat to safe distance. The Imperial fleet pulled away from Earth, leaving the 10 small human ships hovering victoriously over their home planet. The mood in Earth's command center was cautiously hopeful. Screens showed the Imperial fleet hanging back at the edge of the solar system. For now, Earth was safe. We hurt them, Council Leader Han said, but they're not defeated. Admiral Joan Kim nodded. He looked tired after disconnecting from the neural interface. They're calling for reinforcements. Our sensors detect signals going out to other Imperial fleets. Dr. Minali studied the data on her screen. How long do we have? 3 days, maybe 4, Jun replied. Then we'll face a force 10 times larger than this one. Han rubbed his eyes. Can we win against that many ships? No one answered. They all knew the truth. 10 ships against hundreds, maybe thousands of Imperial vessels. The odds were impossible. Engineer Ta Jin, his face still pale from the neural connection, spoke up. We don't need to defeat their entire fleet. We just need to make it too costly for them to continue. How? Han asked. Ta smiled weakly. The Empire thinks in terms of overwhelming force. We need to think like humans, find their weakness and use it against them. High Commander Xal knelt before the hologram of the Imperial Overlord. The massive figure looked down at him with 6 glowing eyes. You failed, the Overlord said. A primitive species with 12 small ships defeated our attack force. Xal kept his head down. Their technology is unexpected, Overlord. They have weapons that disrupt molecular bonds, defenses we cannot penetrate, and their pilots have neural links that let them fight as one. Excuses, the Overlord hissed. The Empire does not accept failure. I have called for the 7th Imperial Fleet. Xal said quickly. 500 ships will arrive in 3 days. We will crush this resistance and take this planet. The Overlord was silent for a moment. This primitive world has cost us too much already. When the fleet arrives, you will destroy all human military assets from orbit. No more ground invasion. No more slaves. Just destruction. The hologram vanished, leaving Sal alone with his thoughts. The humans would pay for his humiliation. Commander Su Park led the remaining pilots through the busy lunar base. Workers rushed to repair the damaged ships and prepare them for the next battle. We lost 2 good pilots today, she told the group. Jin and Hannah gave their lives for Earth. We will honor their sacrifice by continuing the fight. The 8 remaining pilots nodded solemnly. They had all felt Jin and Hannah's deaths through the neural link. It was a pain none of them would forget. The Empire is calling for reinforcements, Su continued. When they arrive, they won't try to conquer us anymore. They'll try to destroy us completely. What's the plan? Asked one of the younger pilots. Su led them to a large room where Admiral Kim, Dr. Lee, and Engineer Tai were waiting. A hologram of the solar system floated in the center. We have 3 days to prepare, Jun said. Ta has an idea that might save us all. Ta stepped forward and pointed to the hologram. The Empire relies on their shields, but all shields have a frequency. Find that frequency, and you can pass right through them. How do we find it? Su asked. Dr. Lee spoke up. We captured data from the damaged Imperial fighters. Their shields all operate on the same basic pattern. If we can crack that pattern, we can hit them where they're vulnerable. Jun finished. There's more, Ta said. I've been studying Jupiter's magnetic field. If we can position ourselves correctly and time our quantum disruptors to match the planet's field oscillation, we can amplify our weapons by a factor of 10, Minna said with growing excitement. Su looked at the hologram, where Jupiter glowed softly. You want to use a planet as a weapon? Ta nodded. That's exactly what I want to do. In the background, technicians worked frantically to repair the damaged Horizon ships. New pilots were being carefully selected to replace those who had fallen. Earth was preparing for its greatest battle. On the main screen, the Imperial fleet waited like a storm on the horizon. The worst was yet to come. The 3 days passed too quickly. Earth's 10 remaining ships had been repaired and improved. Each now carried the modified quantum disruptors designed to work with Jupiter's magnetic field. Admiral Jun Kim stood in the Lunar Base Command Center, looking at the holographic display. 500 Imperial ships had arrived, forming a massive wall between Earth and the outer solar system. It's time, he said simply. Commander Sue Park nodded. She wore her flight suit, ready to return to her ship. Operation Tsunami is ready, Admiral. June turned to face the gathered pilots and officers. Today we fight not just for our survival, but for our right to exist as free humans. The Empire thinks we are primitive, easy to crush. Today we show them how dangerous humans can be. He activated the main communication channel. All Horizon ships launch and form up. Head for Jupiter at maximum speed. The 10 black ships rose from the lunar surface and accelerated away from Earth. On radar, they could see the Imperial fleet turning to follow them. They're taking the bait, Sue said through the neural link. They think we're running away. June felt the combined minds of all 10 pilots working as one through the improved neural interface. Once we reach Jupiter's orbit, execute the plan exactly as we practiced. Timing is everything. High Commander Xal watched the human ships flee toward the gas giant planet. He smiled coldly. Pathetic, he said to his officers. They run instead of facing us. Follow them and destroy them. The massive Imperial fleet moved after the small human ships. Their huge engines pushed them forward with overwhelming power. Commander, one officer said, why would they run to an uninhabited planet? There is nothing at Jupiter. Perhaps they have another base there, Xal replied. It doesn't matter. 500 ships against 10. They have no hope. As Jupiter's massive form grew larger in their view screens, the Earth ships began to separate. Their formation changed from a tight group to a wide arc. All ships, prepare for position, June ordered. Sue, you know what to do. Sue Park's ship broke away from the others. She accelerated directly toward the oncoming Imperial fleet. Beginning Operation Tsunami Phase 1, she reported calmly. On Earth, Dr. Minna Lee watched with Council Leader Han. What is she doing? Han asked worriedly. She's heading straight for the enemy fleet alone. A distraction, Minna explained. And more. Watch. Sue's ship dodged incoming fire as she approached the lead Imperial vessels. She was outnumbered 500 to 1, yet she flew directly into danger. Phase 1 complete, Sue reported as her ship passed through the front line of the Imperial fleet. Beginning Phase 2. Her small ship darted between massive enemy vessels, drawing their fire. Several larger ships turned to pursue her. I'm approaching the command ship, Sue said. Ready for final phase. June watched through the neural link as Sue flew her ship in an impossible series of maneuvers. She was heading straight for Xal's command vessel. Sue, he said privately through their connection, you don't have to do this. Yes, I do, she replied. For Earth. Sue's ship accelerated to maximum speed. A direct hit damaged one of her engines, but she kept going. The Imperial command ship loomed ahead. Neural link data transfer complete, she reported. I got their shield frequencies, sending to all ships now. Through the shared consciousness, all pilots received the critical information. The Imperial shields operated on 7 specific frequencies. Now they could bypass them. All ships move into final position around Jupiter, June ordered. Prepare quantum disruptors. The 9 remaining Earth ships formed a pattern around Jupiter's equator, each one carefully positioned to use the planet's magnetic field. Sue's damaged ship continued toward the Imperial command vessel. Enemy fire intensified around her, but somehow she kept going. Impact in 5 seconds, she said calmly. It's been an honor, Admiral. The honor was mine. Commander, June replied, his voice tight with emotion. Sue's ship crashed directly into the Imperial command vessel's bridge. The explosion tore through the massive ship's control center. In that moment, June gave the final order. All ships, fire quantum disruptors. Full power. 9 beams shot toward Jupiter's swirling atmosphere. The planet's massive magnetic field caught the energy, amplified it, and redirected it outward, straight at the Imperial fleet. A wave of quantum disruption, 1,000 times stronger than before, washed over the enemy ships. Their shields, now tuned to the wrong frequencies, offered no protection. One by one, then dozens at a time, the Imperial ships began to break apart. The remains of the Imperial fleet drifted in space, broken and silent. Of the 500 ships that had arrived to conquer Earth, less than 50 remained functional. The quantum wave had torn through them like paper. In Earth's command center, cheers erupted as the data came in. Council leader Han closed his eyes in relief. They had won, but at great cost. "Sue Park," he said quietly. "Her name will never be forgotten." Dr. Minna Lee wiped tears from her eyes. Through the neural link, she had felt Sue's final moments. The determination, the lack of fear, the pure love for her planet and people. "Admiral Kim is requesting to speak with you," an aide told Han. June's face appeared on the main screen. He looked exhausted but proud. "Council leader, the Imperial fleet is defeated. Their remaining ships are retreating to the edge of the solar system." "What about their commander?" Han asked. "High Commander Xal is dead. Sue's attack destroyed the bridge of his ship." June paused. "But we've intercepted communications from the surviving ships. They're calling for instructions from their homeworld." "Can they bring more ships?" Han asked worriedly. "That's the interesting part," June replied. "According to the messages we've decoded, the Empire doesn't want to commit more resources to Earth. We cost them too much already." 3 days later, a single Imperial vessel approached Earth under a flag of truce. It carried the new Imperial representative, Sub-Commander Leth. He was younger than Xal had been, with less arrogance in his manner. In the United Earth Council chamber, Leth faced Council Leader Han and Admiral Kim. "The Galactic Empire offers terms," Leth said without preamble. "Earth will be recognized as a sovereign power. There will be no tribute, no occupation. In return, Earth agrees not to attack Imperial worlds." Han exchanged surprised looks with June. "Why would the Empire offer such generous terms? You have millions of ships, thousands of worlds." Leth shifted uncomfortably. "The Empire has other concerns. Committing more resources to subjugate Earth is not deemed efficient." June leaned forward. "You're afraid of us." "Cautious," Leth corrected. "Your quantum technology is concerning. And there is another matter." He hesitated. "Several species within the Empire have followed your resistance with great interest. There have been incidents of unrest. You're afraid our example will inspire others to rebel," Han realized. Leth didn't answer directly. "These are the terms. They will not be offered again." 1 month later, Admiral Jun Kim stood on the observation deck of the newly constructed space station orbiting Earth. Beside him stood Engineer Ta Jin and Dr. Minna Lee. "The first diplomatic vessel from the Prantis system arrives tomorrow," Jun said. "They were one of the first to contact us after the Empire retreated." "And the new ships?" Tai asked. June looked out the window where 20 new Horizon vessels were under construction. "Production is ahead of schedule. Thanks to your improvements to the neural interface, we'll have 50 ships ready by next year." Mina smiled sadly. "Sue would be proud." "She would," June agreed. "Her sacrifice showed the galaxy what humans are capable of." A young officer approached them. "Admiral, we're receiving another transmission. This one's from the Kelteri Confederation. They're requesting an alliance with Earth." June nodded. "Tell them we'll welcome their representatives." As the officer left, Ta looked at the stars visible through the window. "A year ago, we didn't know aliens existed. Now we're forming alliances with them. The Empire thought we were primitive because we hadn't spread beyond our solar system," Jun said. "They didn't realize we were just getting started." On a screen behind them, a news broadcast showed Earth's newest warship launching from the lunar shipyards. It was sleek and powerful, built with technology that combined human innovation with knowledge shared by their new allies. Its name was painted proudly on the hull, EDF Sue Park. "The Empire wanted to conquer us," Minna said. "Instead, they introduced us to the galaxy." June smiled as he watched Earth's warships spread out toward distant stars. And now the galaxy will have to deal with humanity.